What's going on, everybody? So today we're going to fix one of the worst things I have left on this bike, which is the audio. Harley's never really cared much about it. They've partnered with Rockford Fosgate for years and years and years. Even when they do add an upgraded audio system to their bike, it is the Rockford Fosgate system, unlike the CVOs and things like that. So very clearly they have no intention of ever upgrading their audio. They'd rather just work with third-party companies, which is perfectly understandable. A lot of car manufacturers do the exact same thing. With that said though, I do believe that when you're spending this kind of money on these new bikes, you should be getting a much better quality radio than what's coming with them. I mean, I'll show you the magnets on these. They are just despicable. They're putting the cheapest of the cheap system in these. I can barely hear it over 60 miles an hour with the stock windshield. I do have a taller windshield that does help improve it quite a bit, so if you don't have the money to go out and actually do an upgrade on your audio, another good option is to just go ahead and put a taller windshield on it. It does help. I could hear my music, you know, at 80 miles an hour going down the interstate once I put that taller windshield on. It wasn't great, mind you, but at least I could hear it. So if you can't do this yet, by all means, another windshield is a great option. So with all that said, let's get into it. Alright, so it's actually a lot harder to find an empty parking lot than I thought it was going to be in the middle of the afternoon. So let's get this done quickly. I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of before and after here. So this is just some royalty-free music. We're just going to play this, slowly walk back. I think I can get back to about 80 yards on this, so we'll figure it out. And I'm betting it just barely picks it up from here. And you can see just how quiet it's gotten now. I mean, this is probably only 40 yards, I'd bet, at most, and it's already cut out to that extent. So this is stock. We're gonna go ahead and get the other ones thrown in, and we'll be right back. Now these are just a T27 Torx. Just pull these out real quick. Oh, and of course, as always, take out your main fuse before you start on electrical projects like these especially. And then we'll just repeat the process on the other side. Now that we got that done, we're just going to take some kind of a pry tool, and actually you really don't even need one. I just use my fingers. If you pull real gently over on the one side, you can just pry these right out. A pry tool does help though. So if you just barely pull on it, they do just pop literally right out of here. And you can see just a couple little keeper tabs on each side here. So that's all it's holding it in. It's just these little keeper tabs, and you got some at the bottom. So if you just kind of pull, like I said, nice and gently on this side, this one will pop out, and then you can kind of work it up, and that'll pop this one out. Now with the front, same thing. Remove these 4 bolts for the windshield. Those are T25s. Another cool thing that they did on the new model years was add these little keeper tabs here, so that when you have the windshield on there and you're bolting it down, it isn't sliding all around. That's another little thing that I liked a lot. So it just slides right up and out of there. Now we got that out, we pull 3 more screws. You got these 2 holes and this one here on both sides. Those are also T25s. with the top flicker, screen like thing. So if you just pull on this little shroud at the top, that will snap right out. Once you get that done, then we'll just take this, lift it right off. And then there are 2 more screws here and here, and then here and here that we'll have to take out as well. All right, now that we have that out, there's 1 more bolt that holds the fairing on. And that is this one right here. This is also a T25 Torx. And then the whole thing should just pop right off if we just work it off nice and gentle here. Sometimes you just gotta kind of pull out on the bottom just a little bit, and then it should lift right up and off. So now we've exposed the amp. The new procedure is actually extremely easy. So we've got 4 bolts holding the amp down. They're T27s, 1 in each corner. Now you can really see how much they've cleaned up these compartments. Back in the previous generations, these were just a mass of wires. The new head units have really taken out all the gauge wiring, you know, combining everything into one screen. I think just kind of cut down on so much the wiring in these heads of these bikes that it's just unbelievable the amount of room that you have now to work in. Whereas before you were kind of just shoving your hands in anywhere you could get them. Alright, so now that we have all those out, we'll just pick this up nice and gently. Work it from behind this little thing. There's a little keeper tab. And then we just push down on this and just gently work it back and forth a little bit, and she should pop right out. So there's our old amp, and here's the new 500 watt stage 3 amplifier. So just slide that in real nicely. We'll throw a little bit of dielectric grease on there. Anytime I'm doing connections on new things like these, I always try to put at least a little bit on. Just go ahead and plug her in until it clicks. Push our keeper tab back down. Slide this back in here. And throw our big screws and throw our bolts back in. Alright, now with those all snugged up, we'll move to the front of the bike again. For the speakers, it's just a few T25 bolts. You do reuse all this hardware, so don't lose any of this. Once you have those 4 bolts out, you just lift the speaker out, and then you've got your 2 lead wires here. Just gently work these off. There we go. So when I tell you that it is a gross difference, it is literally a gross difference. I mean, look at the size difference of those magnets alone. So that's where you're getting all your volume, audio, bass, everything from, is these big old magnets. So to install these, we're just going to very carefully reconnect our wiring. They do label them positive and negative. The previous kits, they actually had just a little red dot on those to tell you which was which, and you had to look extremely closely to see it. Now these are just plastic going into plastic, so don't crank the hell out of these. You really don't need to. And then we'll repeat the same process on the other side. Alright, so now that we have all that done, we have the main fuse back in. Harley's actually made this easier than ever to set up. I think they're really listening when it comes to the installation. You just saw how easy it was to put in. The old ones, you had to cut bag lids, you had to run a bunch of wiring, you had to run power for your amp. You just had to do so much more to achieve the same thing. This is really, really cool system. I really like this. So we're just going to turn the bike on. We're going to go into menu. We're going to go to settings. Then we're going to go to sound. We're going to go down to speaker setup. Yes. So we're going to go over to speaker config. And we now have the upper fairing at a stage 3. Saddlebags, none, because we're not doing that yet. The reason why, you have to buy the saddlebag lids now. So the kit doesn't come to where you can just cut them into it. Those saddlebag lids are quite expensive. Eventually I will put them on. I have other things that I want to put money towards before I do that. So we'll do those in the future. So then we hit start test. Pink noise will play through each amplifier channel. Identify which speaker the noise is coming from. Hit OK. So that's not left, not right. No sound, no sound. Test complete. Turn the bike off for 60 seconds. So now we turn it off and we let it sit for 60 seconds. Now, while that's doing that, I'm going to go ahead, put everything back on in reverse order. If you don't remember how, just watch the video in reverse. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to go ahead and throw everything back together, and then we're going to go out and get a comparison video. So stay tuned. All right, so we are back for the comparison. It's actually several months later. I got pretty busy and I didn't want to start the channel without actually being able to be consistent. So here we are. It is now fall. I'm getting around to the comparison here. So this is with the Rockford Fosgate Stage 3s in place. Same microphone, same song, same chord, same phone. And the only thing that I can say that's changed is it is a little bit windier out today than it was whenever we did the stock comparison. So I want to go ahead and highlight that, and then also the windshield. I think I've talked about it several times in the past. Definitely in one of my first videos I talked about it, but putting a windshield on these makes a drastic difference when it comes to the sound quality. I guess just blocking some of that wind, and it just helps significantly. It kind of shocked me how much it actually helps. So without further ado, let's get into the comparison here. You can already tell it's a lot crisper even at distance. The bass is a lot greater.
it carries a lot further. And again, this is a little bit windier day. I think we got like 20-30 mile an hour winds today. So you can kind of see, here's I think where I stopped last time, and it is significantly louder. I mean, by far. So with all that wrapped up, let's get back to the house.